Hello, and welcome to a special edition of It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And in tonight's 20 by 20 series, I am going to go over the fight and strategies of Devin Haney and also Ryan Garcia. I'm going to first start off with Devin Haney and explain his keys to victory, and then I'll explain Ryan Garcia's keys to victory as well. All right, so I'm going to first start off demonstrating the fighting stance and fighting style of Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney is an orthodox fighter. It just basically means that he's right-handed. He'll keep his left in front. Basically, what he does is kind of like a Mayweather-esque type Philly shell, sort of like this. In most instances where he's within punching range, he does use the fundamentally sound high guard. In this case, we'll just kind of be just outside of punching range to where he's comfortable. And then he does have a good bend of knee, but he does have actually a very wide stance. So he'll kind of appear like this most of the time when he's fighting. Now, he is very good at pivoting. And then, of course, when you're good at pivoting, you're good at turning your opponent. So, be on the lookout for that. Once Devin is kind of able to craftily disable Ryan's speed and power, if this goes according to plan, of course. Now, what Devin is also known for is a great jab. So Devin uses speed and timing with his jab in most cases, and he actually can do a variety of jabs where he can anticipate head movement and throw a nice jab like this, or he can actually throw a nice stabbing body jab, which I know that he learned from Floyd, which goes a little something like this. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. So basically those jabs are primarily what he'll wind up using. Now, what I also want to be on the lookout for is the crisp right hand that he actually throws. The reason that this is important is because Ryan Garcia is heavily reliant on left hooks. Okay? There are several ways that you can defeat a left hook. Most of the time, if you want to defeat a left hook and it's a very looping left hook, you can roll under it and then counter. And you can also roll under it, counter to the ribs or the body, or this is a high risk, high reward move. Okay, so this move is not for the faint of heart. So basically, what you can do is you keep your right hand up, you step in towards the hook, you have to anticipate it. You step in towards the hook, and then basically what you can do is you catch the hook, roll with it, and then you can catch something on your own. Now, the reason that is a high risk, high reward type thing, basically what you could do is you could catch it and then hit it with the right hand. That is also a very high risk, high reward move. If you are able, and I think the right hand is probably going to be more effective, but it has to be timed perfectly. You have to be able to first catch the hook that he's throwing, and then once you feel the contact on your hand, you can launch your right hand into the face of the opponent. In Ryan's case, unfortunately, he's not defensively sound, so he can be caught with a right hook, and And if he misses, he can be caught by a straight right hand. He could also suffer. He could also catch one to the body, which is probably what I would look for early on in the fight when he throws a left hook to actually get caught in the body. And then I think that eventually he may get caught in the face. But needless to say, I think that Devin being fundamentally sound and defensively responsible, he would be able to put himself in position to counter most of Ryan's attacks. Now, what I'll also demonstrate is Devin Haney's foot movement against Ryan's punching, which basically a head movement and foot movement. So basically, he has a wide stance, of course. So basically, what he would wind up doing is, depending on whether or not he wants to stay in the pocket, he'll just wind up sidestepping, weaving, and then he can come back with punches of his own. Or he may decide that he may want to try an exit strategy to set up a trap for bait. So basically what I mean by that is, say Ryan wants to throw the hook, there's another option. You catch, of course, you want to make sure that you catch this left hook, or you can roll under it. You can pop him with a jab and move back. Now, the reason that may actually be important to establish is, again, the jab sets the table for everything. And if you are able to catch someone with a jab coming out, then you can set the table for other things like this. So basically, he throws a left hook, you roll, pop, you step out. So what that can amount to later is, yes, you can throw the jab again, but this time you can, when you pop him, he may step with you, and then you pop him again. So basically, I'll show you how that works as far as the trap being set. So I'm Devin Haney. I roll under the pop, pop. So as soon as this dummy came back, I had him lined up for the right hand and I popped him. So that's one of the traps that you could actually set for someone trying to throw a left hook. Or you could do what Floyd did to Arturo Gatti. So basically, you can hold the phone, catch the hook, or in this case, what you could do is roll under it, and then you're back to regular business hour. So once again, you can roll under it, and then you can go back to what you were doing. Since Ryan keeps his chin exposed when throwing the hook, you can throw the body punch as a distraction, and then when he slides his elbow down to try to protect that, he can get caught in the trap. All right. Also, I think that, and finally, I think again that Devin's right hand is going to be a determining factor on how successful he is as far as maybe dominating or stopping Ryan Garcia. Don't get me wrong, his jab and his defensive skill set is vital to him winning as well, okay? But I think his jab is probably already going to be established, which is why I briefly went over that. But I think the right hand to counter Ryan's left hook is going to be key to him actually winning the fight. Now, on to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is also an orthodox fighter. Left hand in front, right hand back. Now, he does keep his right hand high. There was a fight that he had with Luke Campbell that, unfortunately, he was knocked down in. But this taught him a very valuable lesson as far as keeping his right hand up to avoid incoming left hooks. So, He does have his hand up, like so. Okay. He has somewhat of a space in between his lead hand and his right hand. And what Ryan likes to do, he stands straight up, his chin is up, and what he'll do is he'll throw speed punches, okay, to try to distract his opponent. And then basically what he'll set up is a quick right hand hook. And that's what usually puts his opponents in trouble. So he does have somewhat of a good jab. It's very fast. So I'll try and imitate it the best I can, but again, this is not going to be to the speed of Ryan Garcia. So basically, he stands up straight. He stands up straight. Yep. That's pretty much it. So basically, yeah, he'll jab real fast. No, he won't hook off the jab. Basically, if he hooks off of the jab, I'm sorry, my instincts kicked in. If he hooks off the jab, I think that he'll have some success. Y'all give me just a moment. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Had a real life situation. Okay, so most of the time when Ryan tries to set up his hooks, he's going to throw his jab and then somewhat of a very quick right hand, kind of goes like that. So what he'll do is he'll basically jab, he'll do that. So again, what he'll do most of the time to set up that left hook is jab. So he'll set that up that way. It's very rare that he'll use any type of feints or anything like that to try to maybe lead an opponent in a space to where he could throw the hook. It's basically the jab straight down the middle, quick right hand, left hook. And then of course, in a straight up stance. How he actually generates power off of that is very interesting. I would like to know how he does that. You know, no shade or BS or anything like that. It's interesting because most of the time when you have fighters that generate a lot of power, they have to bend their knees, like Mike Tyson would. Mike Tyson really gets torque off of his punches when he bends his knees and rips into guys like that. Or he'll do his famous combo where it's this and does that. So yeah, I kind of like to figure out how Ryan can do something like that. To be honest with you, no hate involved. But yeah, if Ryan is actually able to do what I showed earlier, which is going to be this, hooking off the jab. If he's able to pump that jab and then hook off of it, then I think he could actually surprise Devin and, make it a very interesting night. Also, I think that if Ryan is somehow able to anticipate and time Devin, and the reason I say that is because Devin actually has superior footwork, meaning that he's not only faster in feet, which means that of course he moves faster than Ryan. He's also more technically sound foot-wise than Ryan. Now again, Ryan has this straight up stance, okay, that he actually uses. Devin is more of a wide stance, bend your knees. So it's easier to move and pivot, move around, move around, move around, than it is if you're just kind of straight up. So basically you would still do the same thing, it's just a little bit more awkward, a little bit more difficult. But if your knees are bent, even slightly, you have more range of motion to where you can do more things like pivot and then just move around if you have to, as opposed to just kind of being upright and then just taking big steps, which, I mean, you can get away with that with some opponents, but I don't think with Devin Haney you can do that. But again, if he's able to time Devin somehow, just by utilizing his jab and maybe what lateral movement he actually has, and he can use his familiarity with Devin to his advantage as well. So basically, how that would probably work this way. So if he knows that Devin likes to move, let's just say to his right. So basically, he can kind of try to line Devin up with a series of jabs. Okay? And then he can come back with this. He can come back with that. He can also do this if he anticipates Devin's movements well. He can basically step and do that. So if he's able to just kind of step with Devin somehow in this stance, he can take a big step over. Notice how this left hook is just swinging out there and his chin is still exposed though. But that is one of the keys to victory. He could actually wind up timing Devin pretty good. And if he does that, and then comes back with his famous left hook, that could provide some trouble for Devin as well. So I think as far as hand speed goes, Ryan still has an advantage. So another way to try to take advantage of hand speed is this way. If he somehow is able to get Devin in a firefight, he can actually win. He can win most of the exchanges. So if Ryan is somehow able to either corner Devin or coax Devin into exchanging, then basically Ryan's fast punches can cause trouble for Devin. If he is able to do what I just showed, which again is going to look crazy, so he'll just, if he's able to do something like that, then that could actually cause complications for Devin. I seriously doubt that that's going to happen, but if he gets Devin into a firefight, that may increase his chances of survival and or winning. Now I'm going to come back with who I think is going to win in just a moment. All right. Now, given the intangibles, which Ryan's training camp has been a very unusual one, so I, like many hardcore boxing fans, just kind of question what kind of dedication he actually had during this camp. I'm also very curious to see if he's even going to make weight. With all of this turmoil going on, I don't think Ryan is going to be fully prepared. The person, of course, that I do think is going to be well prepared and better prepared is Devin Haney. I think given the history between the two, where Ryan won the early amateur fights and then Devin won the latter, and then watching film on both fighters, while I will say that for the most part, Ryan has actually shown some slight improvement, defensively is still not so great. I think that Devin is the type of fighter that can find deficiencies and exploit them. So I think that Devin Haney is actually going to win in very dominating fashion. Also, I think that people are really, really underestimating Devin's power. I actually picked Devin to stop Ryan in this particular fight. Um, I think that it's either going to be one of two ways. It is going to be a systematic beating, like Floyd versus Arturo Gatti, or it is going to wind up being a stunning knockout, like Pacquiao Marquez 4, where Ryan gets overzealous or gets too comfortable, gets overzealous, tries to throw the lunging left hook, and he runs right into something. It's either going to be that or it's going to be a systematic beating into which Derrick James is going to feel like Ryan cannot come back. And then I think Derrick James is actually going to be the one winding up calling it. And then after that, I think that Derrick James will also no longer be Ryan Garcia's trainer. But I do have, excuse me, I do have Devin Haney winning in dominating fashion, either by a systematic beating or a destructive knockout. Um, and if I'm wrong, I have no problem apologizing, but seeing something unforeseen or anything like that, I just don't think that Ryan has the answers at this point in time. I just don't think that his focus is there. And unfortunately, it is going to cost him dearly. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and watching It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And I can't wait to review the fight next Thursday. You guys have a great night, and I will see you next week.